I'm honored to speak with you here today at Tulip Conference. I've been looking forward to this event for quite some time. Together we have the opportunity to shape a new global community, one without censorship. Now I'm probably not the first one to say this today, and I don't mean to sound cliche, but we have a chance to change the world and bring change to society. Let's face it, few large corporations pretty much control all our interactions. I'm sure most of you sitting right here found this very conference through either Google or one of your social networks. This past month's been pretty interesting for me, as some of my favorite YouTube channels have been shut down, only to leave this message behind. Sorry about that. During a casual talk by former Facebook exec Chamath Palihapitiya, he said something astounding. One sentence stood out to me. It was so powerful, I still remember the exact words today. I think we have created tools that are ripping apart the social fabric of how society works. The short-term, dopamine-driven feedback loops we've created are destroying how society works. No civil discourse, no cooperation, misinformation, mistruth. You are being programmed. Now that quote was from a discussion titled Founder and CEO, Social Capital, Money as an Instrument of Change. I'd highly recommend watching it if you're interested in how some of the largest players in the industry think about our society today. The talk is quite candid, and I don't expect Chamath really expected it to be widely distributed. Chamath reveals a number of surprising things in that talk. I mean, for one, he expresses a deep regret for building Facebook. But the other, he talks about how social companies brainwash society, and those with the most capital can influence our reality. And if capital influences our reality, then YouTube and Facebook's moves make kind of a lot more sense. These channels had been around for some time. They'd been producing content on how to grow cannabis, or simply the trials and tribulations of the plant. None of them were sexually explicit, or promoted violence in any way. So why were they removed? Well, you can watch videos on how to 3D print guns, but learning how to grow your own medicine? Oh no, not today. At this moment, I'm in talks with a public health company in California. Now they produce content for parents. It's educational content, teaching them on how to discuss cannabis with their children and the effects early consumption can cause. Now this information is pretty much a public health service, and they are pretty much a public health board. They're even sponsored by their local state. But even they were banned from using Google Ads. And now the only way to disseminate their information is to print it on flyers and hand it out on the streets or in schools. Now after spending hours trying to get to the bottom of this, Google couldn't tell us why. Some pages are banned from ads while others are allowed to promote whatever they like. We simply bounced around from AI to AI, support desk to support desk, trying to get to the bottom of this. The irony here is that cannabis businesses would love to use Google AdWords and social media, as most of our target audience are hanging around on these platforms. This leaves legal cannabis businesses in a tough place, having to turn to print media, guerrilla ads, billboards and other tactics that may not bring a positive ROI, and even put up targeting the wrong clientele. Chamath also points out how we are slaves to our own vices, and perhaps the social environment that he had a hand in creating is partially responsible for that. The most important and moving part about his speech is he talks about everyone having an idea, and with enough backing that idea, it can change the status quo and even lead to a change in our society. Our Smoke Network was formed out of one of those ideas. A simple blog post by Dan Larimer in 2015 outlining a mutual aid society was the catalyst that sparked my imagination. Now this idea was not completely new. Mutual aid society can be traced back past fraternal brotherhood societies, even far back as medieval guilds. But Dan mentions a society around cannabis, and this really caught my eye. Throughout the post, Dan considers a society and discusses a way that this society could operate. He explains how those that have been a victim on the war of drugs could be the focal point and could bring everyone together and even do a bit of good in the world. Fast forward a few years later, medical cannabis makes a huge step forward. We saw a lot of states legalize cannabis, and a lot of countries even move towards the legalization of medical cannabis. But it seemed as our society started moving forward and progressing in this manner, huge corporations took a step back. Even freedom of speech was suddenly at jeopardy, when guys like Peter Thiel bankrolled lawsuits against Gawker.com and independent authors, ironically under the pretense of protecting journalism. At around this time, I was approached by Patrick Mayer, a young millennial full of dreams. He had grown a cannabis Facebook page network to over 500,000, so I was keen to join him. At the same time, a close buddy of mine, Joseph Ashburner, was building a set of affiliate sites through Amazon, and they were becoming quite successful in their own right. Things aligned pretty well, and we formed a small social media company called 420smokers.us, with Dan's blog post deeply entrenched into my subconscious. The community grew like wildfire. The Facebook community took to our site like growers ready to harvest. We had built over 500,000 social media fans just on that brand, and we were getting about 2,000 hits from Google a day organically. This was short-lived, however, as Facebook started changing things around. Facebook started removing a few of our auxiliary pages and slashing our reach. For every few thousand users we'd gained, our reach would drop even further amount. Facebook was manipulating our feeds quite heavily. Now, Facebook's algorithms changed over time, and they basically solely designed to keep you on the site and keep their revenue up. Now, that might be okay for ads where companies are allowed to advertise and boost their posts, but for cannabis pages, they explicitly deny them from boosting the posts. And so the only way around that was to pay social media influencers and to grow our reach. What came next was shocking. What I and the industry like to call the hashtag pot purge. Slowly but surely and systemically, one by one, each of our pages started getting shut down. And we're not the only ones to feel this. Companies such as Sensi Seeds, Friends of the Marijuana Coalition, Garden State Dispensary, and dozens of others we had been in contact with had their pages removed without warning. These companies, like ours, had spent tens of thousands of dollars and thousands of hours generating these communities, only to see them removed overnight. One morning in July 2016, I woke up to see a Steam It link on Reddit. It wasn't the only link trending that day from Steam. A social network, censorship-free, on a blockchain that pays its users? Shit, I was down. While most scrambled to post their first blog post, I read through the white paper carefully, observed patiently, wrote my first post, and proceeded to ponder on the possibilities Steam had brought to this world. The future looked bright. Mining had replaced by blogging, and Steamer was hitting all-time highs overnight. Communities formed, and the system evolved into one of the largest crypto communities we see today. By the next few posts, though, I realized early and large stakeholders probably weren't aligned with the interests I had. And without a common interest or any solid governance, this idea was fragmented. I knew the Steam community as a whole would never accept and align with the cannabis community, in the same way generic platforms in Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and the likes don't really align. Large stakeholders may have an interest in keeping cannabis content off the network, and not see the value in society that supports that cause. I spent the next year building out 420 Smokers brand and researching everything I could about the mechanics of Steam. Launched multiple front ends running on the Steam blockchain and started to put together the basis for Smoke Network. The vision for a mutual aid society for stoners was that much closer to reality I could fully grasp. In August 2016, the idea for Smoke Network was officially born, and the first white paper was released. A censorship-resistant platform where cannabis users can freely express themselves, while cannabis brands and auxiliary businesses can build their community without the threat of their pages being taken down or content being removed. All the while being rewarded by the community for your contribution to the network. A place where you control the network. A place to be free, and a place where users are aligned to use this network. The MVP dApp running on our own Smoke testnet blockchain on testnet.smoke.io with a large community already established validates our vision and paints a bright future for the community. Since then, we have grown to over 20,000 users eagerly awaiting our mainnet, and over 1,000 of those users entering our ICO. Our expectations have been exceeded. If you'd like to be a part of this exciting project, I urge you to get hold of us through our website. We're still looking for developers, VCs, social influencers, and anyone else that thinks they can help us achieve this dream. Now, even if you don't believe in the legalization of cannabis, I truly hope you believe in freedom. I'll leave you with this video, filmed by Thunderberg Films.
Imagine exploring the road less traveled, only to find it empty and alone. How do you plan to shine when you're left out in the rain? When times change, who do you turn to find the information you seek? Where can you really find freedom when things are designed to stop you? How do you know what's real? And will you be in control? Who do you trust? And if you capture a moment, where should it stay? Forever. An all-new network owned by its users. A place where you can post without censorship and connect with people like you. A place that rewards you with cryptocurrency. A place to smoke. Join the fastest growing cannabis network. Sign up on smoke.io and take control of your platform. Smoke, get paid, repeat.